Hi guys, Natalia here, and today I am finally filming the second installment of my Writer's Journey series. So I have recently started back to my university. This is my senior year of college and I'm so close to being done. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to carve out writing time for yourself, or what I do to make sure that I get time to write. So you might notice that between this video and my last video, quite a bit of time has passed. I want to say it's been about 2 weeks since I was able to film and upload anything. And the reason for that is that I did go back to school. Everybody has different methods when it comes to making time to write, or really time to work on any sort of creative project or hobby. What I prefer to do is work in frequent, small amounts of time. So some writers would rather have 2 hours at the end of the day to just sit down and carve out a large chunk of words, but that doesn't really work well for me, because if I sit down to start writing and I get stuck on one scene, then maybe I'm stuck on it for an hour and a half, and I really haven't gotten any work done. Whereas if I decide to work in 15 to 30-minute chunks throughout the day, I can get a lot more words written and really progress my story much faster. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I have a large chunk of time between my morning class and my afternoon class. So what I do is I go to the library, I get my cup of coffee, and I bust open my laptop and get to work. Now, often I will do homework for the upcoming day first, because if I don't get my homework done, then I'm just going to be stressed and anxious about it, and I'm not going to be able to write very well in the first place. So after I get all my homework done, then I'm able to open my document. I do keep my novel on a thumb drive, so that I can take it with me wherever I go. I typically work on my desktop when I'm home because it's a bit more comfortable for me and I prefer the larger keyboard. But when I'm at school, I just take that thumb drive with me and then I'm able to write on my laptop. So, for example, today I had, I want to say, about an hour to write, and I've been writing on something called My Write Club, which I can link below. I'm a big NaNoWriMo participant, and I love doing word sprints. There's something about a timed writing session that really gets me to focus, because if I have tons and tons of time to write, I might obsess over the way one sentence sounds for 10 minutes. But if you only have 15 minutes to write and you're sprinting against 3 other people whose word counts are increasing on the side as you're sitting there not doing anything, it makes you write really fast and you get a lot done. So in the first word sprint I did today, it was 15 minutes and I wrote 528 words, which is pretty good. And in the second word sprint, it was 25 minutes and I wrote 900 words. So in a 40-minute amount of time, I was able to write over 1,000 words. And I really didn't need to sit down and stare at the computer for 3 hours in order to do that. And 1,000 words is a lot of words to get done in a day, especially if you have other responsibilities. You know, when I'm especially busy, I might aim to write 300 words. If I can sit down and write one scene, or the introduction to a scene, or whatever it is that, you know, my next goal that I'm working on, if I can even get that started, that's a success. You don't have to be like Marissa Meyer, who writes 3,000 to 6,000 words a day when she's writing her initial manuscript, because that's hella crazy. So even if you're writing 100, that is something to be proud of. Mew, don't bite me. Okay, I'm back. My cat just attacked me, so I had to deal with that. Look at that little tooth mark. She can be a little bit of a bitch sometimes. Now back to what I was saying. If I have even smaller amounts of time throughout the day, and I don't have 15 minutes, or I don't have 25 minutes to sit down and write, sometimes, you know, let's say I'm in class, you know, I have my notebook and my pens out. If I've written a scene recently that's still on my mind, maybe I jot down one sentence that I'd like to use. Maybe it's a sentence of description, or a sentence of dialogue that has come to me, you know. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. It might be 5 words or 10 words. But what if you're able to write 10 of those sentences in a day, and then you get home and you have 100 words that you've written in, you know, in 1 or 2 minute increments throughout the day. And that will get you somewhere. I know it doesn't feel like progress, and it might feel like you're just barely inching along, but inching along is better than giving up and not doing anything. When I was younger, I would abandon books all the time. I would start writing, you know, I would find that I didn't have the time that I thought I needed in order to write and be an author, and then I would give up because I'd say, well, I don't have 8 hours today to work on a book like a professional author, so I guess I shouldn't be doing it in the first place. A lot of authors started out working, a 9 to 5 job or working as waitresses or going to school. So none of these authors were able to sit down for 8 hours a day and do this professionally before they got that first book out. So just know that you can do it. You can carve out time for yourself. Now, if you follow me on Tumblr, which I will link below, you will see that I've started something called Word Sprint Sundays, and I'm trying to spend large chunks of my Sundays now doing word sprint after word sprint, just trying to rack up as many words as I can before the week starts, because if I can get a head start on my word count for the week on Sunday, then I'm going to feel great come Friday or Saturday when I've already reached the goal I set for myself. So if you follow me on Tumblr, I will post on Sundays when I'm doing word sprints, and I do these sprints through my Write Club, which I mentioned earlier. Because I like the goal orientation of NaNoWriMo, my Write Club has been really good for me. Plus, you're able to do word sprints every half hour, and you're able to see in the sidebar, it'll show you who else is sprinting with you, and it'll show you how many words they've written, and their word count, like their bar, increases as they're writing. So if I'm sitting there and my bar isn't going anywhere and everybody else's bars are getting way bigger than mine, that encourages me to write. So I get a ton of words down. So it is a huge motivator. So I definitely encourage you to join me this coming Sunday. Like I said, I'll link my Tumblr down below, and if you follow me, you're going to be able to see when I'm sprinting and hopefully join me in my sprints as well. Even if you feel like you don't have a ton of time to write, just please don't get discouraged. But just know that all you need is small amounts of time throughout the day. Get a few sentences written down. Write them on your arm if you need to, so that you have them when you get back home to your computer or your notebook or wherever you write. And just keep your head up and keep writing. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.